What's good, guys? It's Frosty, and today we're going to be reacting to 7 most disappointing signings of this season so far.
Signings are the biggest gambles in football right now. Fans get all hyped up thinking the new player will come in and make an instant impact, but sometimes what seemed like a great deal turns into a major disappointment. So let's dive into 7 of these signings across Europe this season. The transfers that are looking like big mistakes right now. Let's get in.
Man, what the hell?
Calvin Phillips.
Oh yeah.
The first entry on this list is no stranger to the tag. Calvin.
I don't think he's the failure of this season. I feel like he's been a failure for just Man City in general, because a couple seasons his downfall started a couple seasons ago, not this season.
Phillips. Now at Ipswich, it feels like football has just passed him by. Since his move to Man City, Phillips just hasn't looked like the same player. Confidence, non-existent. Impact, minimal. Remember his loan spell at West Ham last season? Yep, it was that unforgettable. His most memorable moment this season at Ipswich is when he lost possession, giving West Ham a chance to score.
Damn, that is crazy, man. Because I remember 2-3 years ago, everybody was talking about him, bro. They were like, next Rodri, next this, next that. So like, it is kind of sad to see, man.
It's not hard to ask. Will the fans at Portman Road ever see the Yorkshire Pirlo again? Right now, it seems like a distant dream. Another player who's playing.
I feel like for something like this, you have to go back to where it all started. So I think he should go back to like Leeds or something, just a loan spell or something, just to get the vibe of the player used to be. Maybe it might help. I don't know what I'm saying, but maybe.
Well below his potential is Dutch defender Matthijs de Ligt. His start at Man United has been anything but smooth.
2019, everybody was like best center back, gonna be top next. Oh shoot, someone's calling me.
Fans were buzzing about his arrival, but so far he's struggled to adapt to the Premier League's intense pace and physicality, making his performances totally forgettable. Take his debut against Liverpool, for instance. De Ligt looked completely off the pace, unable to handle the Reds' attack. Even Gary Lineker couldn't resist calling out his shaky display. Then came the game against Spurs, where things didn't get much better. Jamie Carragher didn't hold back, pointing to De Ligt's defensive errors as a major factor in United's loss. To top it all off, he had a rough time against Brentford. A collision with Sepp van den Berg left him with a gash and an even bigger headache. Right now, the pressure is sky high for De Ligt to step up and prove he's worth the big bucks. But can he turn it around?
What really happened to him, man? Like, a lot of players, like, when they're young, they are so good. Then when they get older, you expect them to get so much better, but like it just goes downhill. Like I get sometimes they lose form, their pace, but it's just crazy, man. Like it's
around United fans
be on top of the world at 20, man, but at 23 you're the worst in the world. Like I guess that's just life, man. I guess that's just life.
And sure hope so, but the clock is ticking. But De Ligt isn't the only Man United player on the list. Joining him on the list is Dutch teammate Joshua Zirkzee. His time at Old Trafford has been, well, a mixed bag. When he's on it, he looks like a great signing, the kind of player who can win games, like he did with his debut goal at the Stretford end, sparking hope among Man United fans. But when he's off it, it's a totally different story.
I remember him getting booed. I remember him getting booed. I don't know if it's just me, but I remember him getting booed.
Consistency.
And next game he scored the winner.
He has been his biggest issue. At times, Zirkzee looks like he's just not putting in the hard yards, similar to what Vincent Kompany once criticised him for during their time at Anderlecht. When he's off his game, his hold-up play and quick feet disappear, and he's definitely not the most clinical player in front of goal. With Rasmus Højlund hitting his stride and finding the back of the net more consistently, Zirkzee's role under the new manager is starting to feel a little bit unclear. Will he step up or continue to leave fans scratching their heads? Only time will tell. West Ham can relate to Manchester United when it comes to having a new attacking signing making zero impact. The Hammers signed German striker Niklas Füllkrug for 27 million euros. At the time, it looked like a solid signing, as Füllkrug was fantastic in Dortmund's Champions League final run. From the high of nearly scoring.
I haven't heard this guy's name since last year. I haven't heard Füllkrug since last year, bruh.
against Real Madrid in the Champions
I
League
heard he went to West Ham after that. I haven't like really heard of him do anything, bro.
final to finding himself warming the bench at a mid-table Premier League club. It's been a frustrating...
This is what I'm talking about. His life changed in a year. A year ago, he was the starter at Dortmund, played in the Champions League final, scoring Champions League goals, but now he's on the bench at West Ham, bro. Like, football is crazy.
fall from grace. Add an Achilles injury into the mix, and it's easy to see why things aren't going as planned for the German striker. To make matters even worse, Füllkrug has fallen victim to what many before him know all too well, the Michail Antonio curse. No matter who West Ham signs to fill that number 9 role, Antonio always ends up as the go-to guy. For Füllkrug, that has meant limited opportunities and a struggle to replicate his peak form. It's a tough spot for a player who was riding high just a few months ago, even earning a call-up to represent Germany in Euro 2024 on home soil. Federico Chiesa is all...
No, Chiesa has not been a disappointment. He is not. He has been injured. His body is weaker, so I read. He is not. I would never see him as a disappointment. I'm giving him next year to really show me what he could do. If he doesn't work out next year, that means he's just, but for now, I think Chiesa is a project. I think we wanted him a couple years ago, but we didn't get him. Now we got him for 14 mil. 14 mil, man. We only got him for 14 mil. This is not a field player. It's a project we're working on.
Also struggling with the same problem of injuries, just like Füllkrug.
Yeah,
his move to Liverpool was meant to be a bargain at £11 million, but it's been far from ideal. Club legend Dietmar Hamann has even called the transfer a nightmare. The Italian winger has been sidelined for over 2 months due to fitness issues, managing just 78 minutes of game time all season. Chiesa's struggles stem from an ACL injury in 2021-22 that kept him out for 9 months. Since then, he's missed 86 games, including 14 this season alone after a muscle injury in September. Arne Slot admitted, "We play so many games and what he needs is playing time, but after months out..."
I love that Arne Slot and accent he used.
It's tough to give him those first minutes. You don't know what to expect. For Liverpool, bringing in just one summer signing who's barely played is starting to look like a rough deal. Fans can only hope Chiesa bounces back soon. Okay, the next player on the list might surprise you. We're talking about Endrick. He had a dream start at Real Madrid, scoring debut goals in both La Liga and the Champions League after his summer move from Palmeiras for €47.5 million.
Endrick is not a failure. He just has been given game time. Look at the amount of winning goals he scored. Amount of goals he scored. He's not a failure. I don't get where this BS.
But let's be real. His minutes.
Let's look at his minutes
on the pitch have been pretty underwhelming. Across 12 La Liga games, he's only racked up 82 minutes, and in the Champions League, it's just 78 minutes over.
Why do people call young people failures when they are seen as a project?
3 appearances.
Like, Endrick is literally being seen as a project right now, but you're calling him a failure. This is a project, so he's not a failure.
What's surprising?
Chelsea are doing projects. You're calling the team a failure, but it's a project. I hate projects. I think every team should try and win now, but they're all saying they're doing projects. So if it's a project,
is that even with Vinny Jr. sidelined for the whole of December due to a muscle injury, Endrick still hasn't seen much more game time. According to The Athletic, his frequent bench warming at the Santiago Bernabeu has raised a few eyebrows. Real Madrid might be Endrick's dream club, but right now it's looking like a bit of a mismatch. He's barely gaining experience, and you can't help but wonder if he would thrive more with regular minutes elsewhere. Meanwhile, in Germany, Hiroki Ito's move to Bayern Munich has quickly turned into a frustrating situation. The Japanese defender, who came from VfB Stuttgart, has been sidelined due to a metatarsal fracture he picked up in a preseason friendly against FC Düren in July. This injury has kept him out for most of the season, and in November, Ito had to undergo a second surgery on his metatarsal, further delaying his recovery. This injury nightmare is compounded by Bayern's thin options in defence. With just one backup, Eric Dyer, for both Kim Min-jae and Dayo Upamecano, it's putting extra pressure on the squad. To make matters worse, Kim Min-jae has been playing through an injury, which could get worse with the lack of depth at centre-back. It's a tricky situation for Bayern, and the decision to sign Ito is already raising
They didn't even
doubts.
sign anyone in this window this January, so that's crazy.
Well, that's it for this video. Tell us in the comments which...
Yeah, thanks for the video. Go sub to this guy. Go sub, Go 90. That's where I got the video from. So yeah, you guys could go watch him over there. I know I keep looking here when the camera's right there, but yeah. Have a nice day, guys.